Welcome to Old Guys Gentlemen Flex Fountain Pens, episode number 46. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Pilot Justus 95. I was going to do a demo in this video of filling this pen, but this pen's got a Con 70 ink converter, and there must be a curse between these converters and me, because I could not fill this thing more than about a fifth full. I looked at all the videos, used Goulet's BAM technique, pulled it completely apart, cleaned everything up, silicone greased in all the right places, put it back, still won't pull it up. I do have another pen that uses this kind of converter, but I could not get this one to work. Now, you'll probably see that it's nearly full, but that's because I just gave up and used one of these guys on it. And if that's what you got to do to get the full, I think it's 1.1, 1.2 milliliters of liquid. But that's one of the, when I cover the good and the okay and the bad, and that'll be one of the bad things. So as I said, I was going to show you how convenient this Tiltwell inkstand is. And you can see it right there, but it didn't make all that much sense because I ended up using the needle to fill it. So on the pen itself, it's kind of a cool looking pen. It's a good sized pen. It's actually about the same size as my Pelican M1000, which kind of surprised me. It's actually a little bit longer than it and maybe slightly less fat. And I like big pens, so I like that about it. The other thing I kind of liked is, if you can see that, but there are fine impressions on both the barrel and the cap, and I kind of like that. Gold accent, a cool design on the clip. I've already talked about the converter in there, and I do not like that. The nib is really one of the stars of this show. It's got this little bar in here that can be moved. Right now it's in the soft position, so the nib will be soft, and then you can move it out into the hard position. And that moves pretty well. And it really does do the job, and I'll get to that. Pretty looking nib. I don't know how far the slit goes down this thing to make it flexy, but that's kind of interesting. It's different than most of the other nibs that I've got. So I'm going to leave this back on soft. Oh, no, it's hard. Yeah. Just going to explode the view here, and we'll flip this around. It's 14 karat. It came fine, but it wrote like it was more like a medium. And when I was trying to flex it, I don't know if it was this way before, or maybe because of my flexing, but there was actually a separation between the tines, which would have made it much broader. So I don't know if they screwed up and sent it that way, or if I ended up over flexing it and caused that. So it could be either ones. But in either case, I had to kind of work it pretty hard, basically kind of over-under bending technique to pull those tines together. And so now they are together. And in fact, I think it still was like in between a fine and medium, so I went ahead and ground the tip down to the where I like it, which is right now about a double extra fine. It does flex, and this is in the soft position. You can see how fine the lines are here, and it'll flex up to a double broad from a double extra fine. And so that's really a pretty good flexor. Takes a little bit of effort, so I would call it a medium flex, and there is some feedback, probably because I ground it down so fine. But it's not that bad. I like it. It's very responsive. It bounces right back. It comes under the category of pens that I might like to write with. I went ahead and then went to the hard range, And interestingly enough, it actually made the, it must have brought the tines just a little bit close together. I'm not exactly sure what the mechanism is, but instead of double extra fine, it was triple extra fine. And of course, it limited the line variation to about a bold. It also made it a little bit scratchier, so there was a little bit more flex, but still a fair amount, not as much as up here, and even more responsive than up here. In terms of dimensions on this thing, the cap length is 5 7/8 inches. The posted length is a whopping 6 5/8. Barrel diameter is 1/2 inch. Section diameter is 7/16. So it's a very comfortable rider for me, with or without the cap. I think it's a nice looking pen. Capped, it's a nice comfortable 5 inches. Let's do a little bit of writing, and we'll start with hard. It's actually kind of scratchy. I'm wondering if I polished that a little bit more, would I impact in the soft mode? But chances are with this pen, I will probably be writing in the soft mode. So let's go over to soft mode. So it's a comfortable rider and has an adequate amount of flex. So kind of in summary, what I really like about it is it looks really good. I love the gadgetry of being able to make an adjustment like this. It's somewhat similar to the adjustments, nib adjustments on a Doric with adjustable nib. Now, I don't have one. That's on my bucket list of pens to get. I suspect that one will be a little bit flexier, as this is a modern nib, but I like that. I like the way the nib looks, I like the way the pen looks, I like the way the size of it. So all those things are positive things. What I'm not too sure about is, even though I have this nice nib adjustment, will I ever be adjusting it? I'm going to try and polish it in the hard position and see what that does to the scratchiness. If it does, then I might do that if I'm only interested in writing very finely. But I like to flex when I write, like line variation, so more likely I'll keep it in the soft position. So for me, the Con 70 converter is a big fail. And it's not just the one that came with the pen. I had some others I tried and they did not work. And maybe it's something about the design of the nib that prevents it from working. I don't know. I did try a Con 50 in here and that worked pretty well, but that doesn't hold that much ink. So that's why I ended up using one of those hypodermic needles to fill up, which would work, but it's a hassle, and I'm not going to carry a needle with me when I'm on travel Actually, if I carry this one, I probably will carry it. It's expensive for the kind of pen it is. It was about $300. I think this should be more like a, 150 to 200 kind of dollar pen. And I didn't like the fact that the tines were open. And again, maybe I caused that, but I wasn't over-flexing it. I have a lot of pens that I flex with, including modern ones, and I kind of know how far I can flex, and it hasn't done it since, and I have been flexing it, so I think that it came that way for some reason. So I'm probably going to keep it for a while, have some fun with it, and sometime in the future I'll probably sell it to make room for another one. But in the meantime, it was kind of cool to have a pen like this, and I'll be having some more enjoyment with it in the future. So that's it. Thank you for coming, and until next time, goodbye.